I generally have students that struggle, and when they enter my program and my system, I think the biggest or the greatest motivator for them is that they see that effort and the work that they do matters, and that their grade will then reflect their efforts. And for me, that's priceless. And working with struggling math students, I think that is part of my success as a teacher, to turn them around and make them see themselves as capable math students, is that they can see that effort and intentionality and working at things produces growth and understanding, and hopefully in the end, curiosity about the topic I'm teaching. Hi, I'm Carway Cito. I'm excited to talk to you about my journey with equitable grading practices. I'm a math teacher, teach middle school math, and as an early career teacher, I was fortunate to be working in schools that didn't have grades, but there was a grading aspect and giving feedback. There's something about grading that never sat right with me. There's something that didn't work in terms of the feedback loop. I didn't always find it motivating. In fact, I couldn't understand what it was that was making it difficult to clearly communicate where students were and their growth, actually. So I discovered Joe's work about a decade ago. And what was really exciting about that was giving me the actual vocabulary to describe what it was that didn't ever work for me about grading, and how it was biased, how it mathematically did not work and was a real challenge. And so having all those pieces really then made me double down on my actual grading practices. And that was a real process for me. I think that's something to be really clear about, that jumping in with both feet is great, but I think you have to work at a pace that is comfortable for you. I started at like a 75% summative with 20% being homework and a 5% effort. And after reading about Joe's work about taking away non-curricular standards out of my grade to make it more bias resistant, I took the 5% for the effort and added it back to the summative, and every year for 4 or 5 years I shifted more and more towards summative. I did not make the big leap from 75 to 100, but each year added 5%. What I learned from that is that I have to be comfortable and I have to believe and understand what it is I'm doing, because if I'm not fully committed, or I can't articulate why it is I'm doing what I'm doing, students won't buy in, parents and families won't buy in. And so I'm now at 100% summative, and I've been so for about 5 years. And that really has been a game changer. What I've found is that not grading homework has been a part of that, and doing retakes, that those 3 skills, 100% summative, not grading homework, and retakes, are sort of self-reinforcing skills that they feed on each other. So once I got to 100% summative, then I was no longer grading homework. The next challenge was helping students understand and see why homework being graded was not actually in their best interest, and how it was part of the process of learning, and that I shouldn't be assessing their practice and their learning journey. It should be about moments in time where I'm looking to see if they can do the skills, and then giving them an opportunity to show me their capacity to do those skills at different checkpoints. Retakes have taken on a different meaning for me, and I see them as a key pillar to the bias resistance in my grading. It used to frustrate me that we would teach content, do a unit test, and move on, and if the kid didn't get it, there wasn't any value placed on learning that skill, because we needed to move on. And that foundational learning in mathematics is so essential that retakes have allowed me to put an emphasis on mistake making, and that timing is not what I'm grading. It feels unfair to only give good grades to the people who can move and work at the timeline that I am driven by my curriculum and the time I'm given. What retakes allows me to do is create more space for students who developmentally or just learning style wise need more time to build and learn a skill. A retake allows that timeline to have a longer horizon, and it values the fact that the student put in the time to learn the skill. And so I find that my students now are more foundationally, have a stronger foundation in algebra or the math that I'm teaching, because they know that I value the fact that they're going back and learning the skills that they need to be able to move forward and be better in the long run. In the end, what keeps me searching and looking at my grading practices and how I can continue to make them motivational, accurate, and bias resistant is that I've seen how this positively impacts my relationships with students. I am a relationship-based teacher, and this grading practice allows me to honor relationships and use relationships in a positive way to inspire and create learning. It allows me to give them feedback in a way that allows them to maximize their learning with the time we have.